Hi, Seamus Scallon's my name from Wicklow Calf Company, right? I'd like to respond to the programme on prime time, Frank McNulty, concerning the calves situation in Ireland, right? I'd like to tell about public perception, the way that our company was showed on the television, right? That all these calves were getting pushed around, and public perception is saying that we own these calves. I'd like to clarify that these calves in the program that he was shown in the markets getting loaded were not our calves. They were not loaded onto our trucks, and what happened in the market system has nothing to do with me. It hasn't, right? I received a phone call from Frank McNulty from RTE Primetime 4 weeks ago, asking me would I do an interview with him. I didn't hesitate. I said certainly I'll do the interview with him. I pointed out to him that if he wanted to do a proper program on to do with the calves going to mainland Europe, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays was the days that he should come to our premises. Yeah. So I invited him to come in, look at everything that was going on, but he chose to come over Friday when there was no activity going in the yard. Yeah. On different occasions, I have spoke to RTV radio. I have invited them. I invited Philip Boucher Hayes came to my yard to do a piece on the calves. He asked me would I do an interview with the NGOs, right, Ethical Farm, and I said yes. He tried to set up a meeting with these people, right, to have an interview with me and to debate on the whole live shipment of calves. They declined to come. We opened our yard on many occasions to different people that come, and anytime I've opened the yard, they have declined to come. This interview that I'm doing today is concerning the lies that was portrayed by RTE about this business of intercommunity trading of calves. I'd like to set the record straight. Yeah. First of all, we speak about, he said that the lorries were travelling and the calves were not getting fed water. Before the calves leave our premises, we are monitored by the Department of Agriculture for the cleanliness of the lorry, the drinkers on the lorry for the electrolytes, the fans are working on the lorry. All the lorries is a GPS on it, which all the information of the temperature control the temperature control units. All the data has to go back to the Department of Agriculture when the trucks are finished doing their stretch on the continent, right? But first thing first, he spoke that the calves had nothing to drink on the lorry. The calves can drink on the lorry 24 hours a day on the lorry, out of the drinkers. We have all teats in each compartment for the calves to be able to drink out. The calves are all fed electrolytes with fats and protein in them, so the calves are getting value of, they're not just drinking cold water, right? All calves that's going on the lorries. The second thing, he said that there was too many calves on the lorry. I'd like to point out, first, the Department of Agriculture weighs our calves, right? Then to quantify the square meters of the lorry to get the average weight of how many calves can go on each truck. 9 times out of 10, there's less calves on it than what is allowed by the EU, so the calves will travel. Then the other point I want to go on, we have temperature control units on the truck that if the calves are getting too hot, we can turn the fans up. But the department will not allow the calves to leave Ireland if the weather is too hot. Yeah, the Department of Agriculture as well forecasts the temperatures on a daily basis, whether our trucks can leave Ireland to go to different countries with the temperatures. Yeah. The next part is the route plans. We do out our route plan of where we're travelling to, right? Temperature control, the journey, yeah, all journey logs, all the data from the GPS, the temperature control unit, all data from the tree lots must be returned to the Department of Agriculture within 30 days. If the data is not returned to the Department of Agriculture, the haulier will be suspended for a length of time because he's in breach of the acts that is put in place by the EU. In regards to the comment made by Fran about the calves travelling on the day he travelled, it was so calm and that there was no problem, but the calves get sick on other days. I'd like to point out that again, the waves are the height of the waves on the sea are monitored by the Department of Agriculture, right? And if the weather is too bad, right, the calves will not be allowed on the trucks. Now, I can't understand where he came up about, because he travelled, how he picked the lovely day to go out. The calves will never leave if the weather is bad. We can show it all on our records here. We're tightly monitored, and the shipping companies, if the weather is bad, will not take the calves either. If they feel that the weather is going to be too bad in the sea, the calves won't leave Ireland. Okay, the next point I'd like to make is that Fran said that all the calves are all now, the new markets are opened up in Romania and they're opening up in Poland for the calves. I'd like to find out also how many calves went to Romania he's speaking about, right? Speaking about the Polish calves, right? He's talking about the veal units in Poland. There's no veal units in Poland, and there's no veal units in Romania. The calves in Poland are fed on the same basis as the Irish cattle are fed here, more or less, right? They're killed around 700 kilograms, right? From, say, 650 to 750 kilos, because they're hitting a different market than we have here. So, speaking about veal units, that's only lies about the veal units, yeah? Now, the veal calves in Holland are speaking about. I'd like to point out that the calves land at the veal farms, right, to go into a single crate for 2 to 3 weeks maximum, to train them how to drink, to monitor the health of the calves, and then they're put into batches of the same weight, the same kilos, and the same size. They are allocated a space of 1.85 square meters per calf for the 6 months duration that they're fed there. It's temperature controlled sheds, right? You could not ask for a better place to live in than what the calves. They're living in a lot better conditions than a lot of people in this island are living in at the moment. They are, yeah. Next point, he showed a video of the calves in New Zealand. I'd like to point out, right, New Zealand is not part of the EU, but he did not understand simply, right? New Zealand we're in a different world. What they do in New Zealand that's not our business, right? It's the way that Ireland conducts their welfare with the calves, the Department of Agriculture here, the way we conduct our business here, right? Which is done under EU legislation, and everything is done 1,000,000%. He showed videos of footage going back 5 or 6 years ago, which happened out in France, and he portrayed this company as being a very bad company. I'd like to say again, the complex which those calves went into cost nearly €2 million, right? The calves are fed to the highest standard. Everything is done top of the range. If one guy was there that ill-treated the calves, right, when it was found out about it, he got the sack. The authorities in France dealt with this action of this man with immediate effect, and Wicklow Calf Company, or our association, does not condone the ill treatment of calves, right? Okay, the other point was about calves dying on the lorry, or calves dying going out. Our trucks went out. We had no dead calves on our trucks that he spoke about. We will not send any calves out that is sick. The department won't allow us, right? But we won't send them because we're in a financial deficit. Then if the calves die, we have to pay for the calves. We have to pay for the destruction of the calves out there. So we're not going to send the calves out. And the other point is that the Department of Agriculture has their offices on site here. They have their office on our premises, right, to monitor all our business. Concerning the drone footage in our yard, this we didn't know that the drones were around, right? But if you care to look at our yard, how clean it is and how clean the sheds are, right? Okay, and you see the loading of the calves. There was nobody pushing the calves with sticks. We were pushing the calves up, very gentle, no shouting at the calves and everything, right? And the truck was loaded in 1,000% the correct manner. At the end of every week, on a Saturday afternoon, we monitor our CTC cameras of all our actions for the whole week. One of our staff who manages the yard, he goes in, he spends 1 hour checking everything that happened during the week so we can see if there's any issues in our premises. And we do that 100%. Okay, like we as a company of Wicklow Calf Company, 100% look after the health of our calves, the welfare of our calves, and we condemn anybody who interferes with the calves or pushes the calves or do anything wrong. We like everything. Our calves are our children. We depend on the calves for our livelihood, and this is what we live over. So why would we show ill treatment to our calves? Now, I'm wrapping up this video, but part 2 is coming, and part 2 will be a fair video to watch as well. Thank you for taking the time to watch this.